Hello dear students. In the previous lecture we have discussed the properties of the PN sequence, and those properties were: the first property was balance property, second property was run property, and third property was autocorrelation property. Now when we discussed this third property, that is autocorrelation property, at that time we came to know that the value of R of 0, that is the value of autocorrelation at D equal to 0, is always 1, and depending on the length of the PN sequence, depending on length of PN sequence, this value gets repeated for example. If we let the length is equal to 7, that is capital N, that is the length of the PN sequence equal to N, then R of 0 is equal to R of 7 is equal to R of 14. For all such values you will get the autocorrelation value is equal to 1, and for other instances like R1, R2 up to R6, similarly R8, R9 up to R13, the value will be minus 1 by 7, and that is what we have already drawn. If you could remember the previous example, we have drawn the graph between R of D and D, where we had a sequence length N is equal to 15. Okay, this property is very important in order to provide a multiple access capability. For example, if you consider any, say, PN sequence having length N is equal to 7, suppose 0 0 1 0 1 1 1. Okay, if we consider this particular sequence, then by rotating this sequence we can get another sequence like 0 0, then 1, then 0, then 1, then again 1, 0 1 0. Sorry, if we shift this data, then it will be 0 0, then 1, then 0, then 1, and then 1, and then last one can be shifted over here, cyclic shift, like this. So this is another PN sequence obtained from the same sequence. So by shifting the data or the sequence, we can obtain such 7 sequences. These 7 different combinations of sequences can be used for 7 different users. Okay, and if we increase the value of N, that is PN sequence length, more number of users can be catered. So the inference is that if we want to cater more number of users, then it is evident that we must increase the length of PN sequence. Increase in length of PN sequence has also another advantages that we'll discuss afterwards. Now we'll start with the generation of the spread spectrum signal. Generation of, rather instead of generation of PN sequence, spread spectrum signal, we'll discuss the numericals based on these properties of the PN sequence. Okay, problems based on PN sequence. The first problem that we'll see, for the linear feedback shift register shown below, first obtain the succession state and output sequence of the LFSR. Second, obtain the period of maximal length sequence. And third, draw the waveform for maximal length sequence, and also obtain its period. The LFSR is like this one. Let this is FF0, let this is FF1, this is FF2. Let the corresponding outputs as S0, S1 and then S2. Let this is a synchronous clock applied to all the flip-flops CLK. The input is given by the feedback from S0 and S2 and then XOR it like this. So this is the LFSR. Solution. Since there are 3 flip-flops, that is equal to M is equal to 3, the PN sequence length, that is given by capital N, will be 2 to the power M minus 1, and it comes out to be 2 to the power M, that is 3 minus 1. 2 to the power 3 minus 1 comes out to be 7. Therefore, the PN sequence length N is given as 7. First part, we have to obtain the succession state and the output sequence of the LFSR. So we mark over here S0, S1 and then S2. So we need to consider here the initial state. So we'll consider the initial state at 1 0 0. And we know that the value of S0 is nothing but it is the input of S0 is nothing but S0 XORed with S2 as evident from the LFSR diagram given. Okay, so this input is nothing but, that is the value of S0 is nothing but S0 XORed with S2, that will reflect in the next state. So initially we have considered the values of S0, S1 and S2 as 1 0 0. So for the next clock pulse, the value of S0 will be shifted to S2, S0 to S1, S1 to S2 likewise. So this 1 will be shifted to S1, this 0 will be shifted to S2. And we know that in the previous state the value of S0 was 1 and S2 was 0. So if we take the XORing, we will get 1 over here. For the next clock cycle, this data will be shifted by 1 bit, so it becomes 1 1. And the previous output, if you see, the value of S0 was 1 and S2 was 0. So again, if you take the XORing, this will be 1. For the next clock cycle, this data gets shifted, so it will be 1 1. Now here, if in the previous output, if we see the values of S0 and S2 both are 1, the current output, that is XOR between S0 and S2, will be 0. For the next clock cycle, this data will be shifted, so 0 will come over here, 1 will be over here, and if we see the previous outputs between S0 and S2, it will be 0 and 1, therefore this becomes 1. For the next clock cycle, this data will get shifted over here, again 1 1 will get over 0 here. For the next clock cycle, this 0 1 will be transferred over here. If we see these two outputs, that is S0 and S2, 0 XORed with 0 will give us 0. For the next clock cycle, again if we shift this data, you will get over here 0 0, and if you see the values of S0 and S2, it is 0 1, it will give you 1. So here the sequence gets repeated. The initial value, here it is 1 0 0, again we are getting 1 0 0. So if we consider this initial value of S2, then this will give us the PN sequence, that is the output of the LFSR. So output of LFSR is nothing but the output available at S2, which is given as 0 0 1 1 1 0 1 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7. We know that the PN sequence length is 7, so there are total 7 elements now available in the sequence. Okay, so the first part is over. These are the succession states. These are the succession states that we have obtained, and the value of S2 will give you the PN sequence.
One.
Now let's start with the second part. We have already covered the second part at the beginning of this problem, but again we'll consider over here the period of the maximal length sequence is equal to n, and this n basically depends on the number of flip-flops. So the value of n is equal to 2 to the power m minus 1, where m is nothing but number of flip-flops. Since here there are 3 flip-flops, the value of m will be 3, and if you put this m value over here, you will get the value of n, that is 2 to the power 3 minus 1. This comes out to be 8 minus 1 is equal to 7, and therefore the period of maximal length sequence, that is capital N, will be equal to 7. I'll discuss the third part. You have to draw the waveform for the Pn sequence. The Pn sequence that we have obtained is 0 0 1 1 1 and then 0 1. Total 7 elements are there. Now here, to draw the waveform, we need to represent the symbol 0 by -1 and 1 we will represent by +1. So if we draw this waveform, the waveform will look like this. Let this is +1 and let this is -1. And if you mark 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and if you draw the waveform over here, initially we have 2 zeros, thereafter we have 3 ones, and then 0 and 1. So accordingly, for these 2 zeros, initially we will get -1. Then for consecutive 3 ones we will get +1, like this. Then for next is 0, so we will get -1, and for the next one bit, that will have the +1 since it is 1. So this is the waveform for the Pn sequence. Now if you consider this particular period, it is basically denoted as TB. It is denoted as TB. Okay, and this 1 bit period of the Pn sequence, it is defined as TC, that is called as chip period.
Go.
Here TB is nothing but it is bit period for the signal to be transmitted. And TC is a chip period, that is 1 bit period of Pn sequence. Now if we correlate TB and TC, then we can say that TB is nothing but 7 times TC, since the Pn sequence length for this particular problem is n is equal to 7. Therefore, if we replace this 7 by n, which is nothing but the sequence length, we can write this TB is equal to n into TC, and we can also write n is equal to TB by TC. In short, this n is nothing but it is again a Pn sequence length.
Go.
We'll discuss another problem. Problem number 2. A Pn sequence is generated using a LFSR of length m is equal to 4, comma, chip rate is equal to 10 to the power 7 chips per second. Find the following parameters. First one, Pn sequence length. Second, chip duration of the Pn sequence. And third one, Pn sequence period. Okay, so we'll solve this problem. What is given? Given is m, that is equal to 4, that is number of flip-flops, and the chip duration, that is chip rate is given to us. It is given as 10 to the power 7. We can denote it as by W. So the first part, we need to find out the Pn sequence length. We know that the Pn sequence length, that is capital N, it is given by 2 to the power m minus 1. Here the value of m is 4, so it is 2 to the power 4 by minus 1, so that will gives you 16 minus 1 is equal to 15. Therefore the Pn sequence length is equal to capital N is equal to 15. This is the first part. The second part, that is chip duration of the Pn sequence. The chip rate is given as 10 to the power 7 chips per second, and therefore the chip duration that will be Tc will be 1 by omega, this is 1 by 10 to the power 7, so it will be Tc is equal to 0.1 microsecond. The third part, we need to find out the Pn sequence period, that is we need to obtain the value of Tb. We know that Tb is equal to N into Tc. Therefore 15 multiplied by 0.1 into 10 to the power minus 6 will gives you the Pn sequence period, that is Tb is equal to, here Tb is equal to 15 into 0.1 into 10 to the power minus 6, it will gives you 1.5 microsecond, that is the Pn sequence period Tb.
Go.
Now we will discuss about the spread spectrum. That is in the previous example, that is in the first example, we have obtained a Pn sequence that will mark over here, and then we will proceed further. So the Pn sequence that we obtained in the previous problem, or the first problem, that was 0 0 1 1 1 and 0 1. Now in order to generate a spread spectrum, we need to consider very first B of t, that is the signal intended for transmission. Then we need another signal, that is C of t, which is nothing but a PN sequence required to spread the signal, that is B of t, and the spreaded signal will be represented by M of t, that is spreaded signal. If we see the system will be like this. We will have a multiplier to which we will apply the signal that is to be transmitted, that is B of t, along with another input, that is PN sequence, which is denoted by C of t, and we will get the resultant, that is M of t. This is basically a transmitter part. This is basically a transmitter. What we have done is we are multiplying B of t with C of t to obtain the M of t. So we will write M of t as B of t multiplied by C of t. So if we write over here, M of t is equal to B of t multiplied by C of t. Okay. Now if we consider B of t, we will draw the corresponding waveform over here. First of all, we will draw the C of t like this. We have got continuous 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, then 14, and then 15. So here we have got 0, 0, then 1, 1, 1, then 0, and then 1. Again 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1. This is the PN sequence that we have obtained, that we have marked over here as well. So we'll draw the waveform for this PN sequence like this, that is C of t. Like this. Again we will have the two zeros, so it will be -1, here it will be +1. Like this. Now here the sequence starts over here. So if we draw the B of t over here, this is the PN sequence length up to over here, that is n is equal to 7. This is equal to TB, that is bit period. This is also equal to bit period. So if we draw the waveform for B of t, then it will be like this, 1 and then 0. So 1 bit period will cover the 1 bit sequence. 1 bit period of the signal that is to be transmitted will cover the 1 PN sequence as shown in the diagram. Okay. So this will coincide likewise. So this is B of t, this is C of t, and if we multiply B of t with C of t, what we will get, that we will see now. Okay. So 1, this is 1, and this is say 0 or minus 1 rather.
Oh.
Now we will draw the m of t by multiplying b of t with c of t. If we multiply this 1 with c of t, we will get the same signal for the first part, that is during this tb we will get the same value of c of t because we are multiplying this with 1. Okay, so if we multiply it with 1, then we will get the same sequence, that is 0 0 then 1, continuous 3 ones, then again 0, then again 1, likewise. Okay, now here we need to be careful while drawing the waveform for the another part, another PN sequence, since the value of b of t is basically 0, which is represented by minus 1. Okay, so minus 1 multiplied by this 0 0. Okay,